Hi, Capricorn. Welcome to your April reading. Yes, it is April 10th when this is being recorded. The beginning of April has been rough, and especially with all the health things that I have going on in my life, I have to make sure that I am paying attention to my energy and taking care of it. So, I appreciate your patience. And I'm really glad that you guys are here. So, the beginning of April with that new moon in Aries happened in your fourth house. And so, the Libra full moon that's going to be happening on the 16th is going to be happening in your 10th house. And this is really that axis where we find our nurturing and our responsibility in life. The fourth house is all about the home and all about the things that we hold very close to us and the way that we were nurtured as children. And with the Aries new moon, you really might have found yourself having to unlearn some toxic patterns from growing up, or having to relearn how to care for yourself and nurture yourself when you're not doing well and you're not feeling well. And the Libra full moon is going to help with that, taking responsibility and taking accountability for, even if we were not nurtured correctly and we have all of these wounds and we have all of these traumas that have been built up through our lives, we still have the responsibility of healing them for ourselves, for sure, so that we don't live in bitterness and anger and pain and resentment, but also for others and the relationships that we have with others, so that we don't project our fears and pain and frustrations and all of those things that our life gave to us, right? So this Aries Libra axis, the Aries is all about, showing up for yourself. And we have had Chiron in your fourth house for a couple years now. And so you've really had to see that healing part and placing your boundaries with family members or with even friends from when you were, younger, and, having to really say to them, this is where I draw the line. No more. This is not happening anymore. And Jupiter and Neptune are going to be putting a lot of illusions when it comes to your communication. And so be careful of other people lying to you. Be careful of you not giving all of the details. Like, be careful of leaving important details out of things. Because that could be something that comes back and haunts you. And then the sun is going to be moving into Taurus, which is your fifth house. And when you want to have your fifth house going, right? You want to have that creative energy going. You really have to have, and this is what I wanted to talk about with that Taurus. So by the time we get to Taurus season, around the 20th, the 19th and the 20th, this Wheel of Fortune should have already been activated. And that means that the shift is very real, and you're probably already seeing it now. You're probably already seeing this shift happening in your life. And we have the Three of Cups, and we have the Page of Wands. And then on the bottom, we have the Strength card. We'll go through one by one here in a minute. Strength card, and then the Ace of Cups, and the Knight of Wands. Okay. So there are good things coming. The Three of Cups, I don't read the Three of Cups like most readers do. I'm not one that thinks it's a third-party situation unless there's something really bad around it. And there is nothing bad around this Three of Cups. This Three of Cups is about coming together and celebrating and having, amazing times with the people that you love. And I feel like I don't know if you're, like, I don't know if you're having a gathering or if there's a birthday or something that's coming or you're planning something like that, but I feel this very real shift. And I think it happens after a conversation or after some kind of message you get with this messenger. So the Three of Cups for me is about the celebration. And then we have the Page of Wands. And he's the messenger. He really brings in the messages for, you know. And it may even be coming from a Leo energy. We have the Strength card here. And then we have the Ace of Cups with the Knight of Wands. The Ace of Cups for me is about giving back to yourself and loving yourself. And so I really feel like what this is saying is, when in doubt, like when you don't know what direction you're supposed to be going in and you don't really know which way to turn and where to go next or whatever, come back to yourself. Like, you are always going to be your greatest guide. You are always going to be that inner voice is always going to be the best guide for you. And when we have massive shifts like this, and with this shift happening, you've probably just come out of a much darker space, or you're feeling like things were a little bit darker there for a minute or for a while. And so now that you're coming out of you're coming into like a brighter sort of existence, you can see the positive things too. And I mean, everybody goes through that. Everybody goes through those darker times. But Jupiter and Venus conjunct in your third house can really have you second guessing yourself and really questioning the moves that you're making. This feels very much this, even though Jupiter and Neptune are in Pisces. This Knight of Wands guy feels very much like the Jupiter-Neptune conjunction in your third house, like back and forth. I don't know. And the thing about this is this is not a time to get logical. This is not a time for you to worry about the logistics of how things are going to be happening, because this is the kind of energy where the universe is really working behind the scenes in really massive ways. And we can't necessarily see the forces that are at play with our human eyes, right? But you can feel it. And if people still have a lot of purging that they need to do and cleansing that they need to do and clearing that they're going to need to do, this could be a very emotional month, extremely emotional, but it's going to be full of chaos. And you guys are shifting a gear in a very, very big way for yourselves. And you're doing it because you can almost see past the energy of what this Jupiter-Neptune conjunction is doing. And, I don't know that I would say that you guys are like ahead of it or something like that, but you're not being drugged down by it. And that's something that's different, I think, for you. I think that you're being more inspired by it being in your third house. Now, everybody's going to be different. So please don't come running after me like, you said I was going to be inspired and this was a terrible month. And it's really about your perspective and how you see things. If it's a really bad month for you and you've had to let go of a lot of things and you've had to really have a lot of hard discussions with yourself and hard conversations with yourself, that was absolutely necessary for you to get to the joy and to get to the celebration and to get to the creativity. So, it really, really 100% determines where you are, how this energy is going to impact you. I don't know that any one person can say that it's going to impact them the exact same way as somebody else, for sure, 100%, as is all the transits, right? But this one in particular is pretty interesting. So it can inspire or it can degrade. And for you guys, I feel like when going back and forth this month for you will be the sabotage. So really open yourself to this massive shift that's happening. And because things are certainly to look better. I'm excited to get some clarification. when we get into the extended, probably some things that you're going to have to look for and pay attention to this month as you're going through this massive shift. And we'll get into the astrology a little bit more. I love you guys. Thanks for hanging out with me for a little bit. I will see you in the extended.